Good morning, History 1162 at Central New Mexico Community College.
Good morning. What's the plan of the day, Doc?
Well, I thought to wrap up our discussion of the New South, we are going to talk about one of the best ballads, history ballads ever written by the great Bob Dylan. And I thought I'd share in the process a little theory I have about this song and where it was written. Because I think it was written here in New Mexico, and there's some controversy about where it was written. The song is called Blind Willie Mctell. Mctell was a real-life African-American blues and ragtime performer of the South in the early 20th century, 1940s, 1950s, 1930s. Bob Dylan talks a little bit about who Blind Willie Mctell was, but Bob Dylan himself sort of uses his story as a springboard to talk about racism in the South, in the American South, and so creates a cool song. A fellow historian of mine, Sean Wellens, teaches at Princeton, wrote a book called Bob Dylan in America. He dedicated a whole chapter to Blind Willie Mctell, the man and the song. All right, and I agree with most of what he has presented in his book about this song and how much history is incorporated into that song. But he also brings up the question of where the song was written, and he has various, theories on it. There's a line in the song starts with, "There's an arrow on the doorpost saying this land is condemned, all the way from New Orleans to Jerusalem." All right, and then the last line of the song says, "I'm staring out the window at the St. James Hotel, and I know no one can sing the blues like Blind Willie Mctell." So he says, where is this St. James Hotel? There was one in New Orleans, there was one in Alabama that were both closed down by the time Bob Dylan wrote the song. So he says, probably not those songs, those hotels. There's one in New York City, there's one in London, but it doesn't make sense that he would be writing, a song about the American South in New York City or London. So again, I think where he was writing that song from was here in New Mexico. If you look at a map and you think about the first line of the song, second line of the song, he talks about "I traveled through East Texas, where many a martyr fell." Well, if you are looking from New Orleans across Texas, East Texas, about the middle of the state, you've got a little town called Jerusalem. If you go another couple hundred miles into New Mexico and you're looking back over your journey in Cimarron, New Mexico, there's a very famous St. James Hotel. Has anybody stayed there? Cimarron, New Mexico, pretty cool. One of the things it's famous for is all of this wood carving on the door panels and on the doors. It's a 150-year-old hotel or 100-year-old hotel, and people scratch their names on it. Willie the Kid, I don't know if he scratched his name. So my theory is Bob Dylan was hanging out in New Mexico, looking out the St. James Hotel in Cimarron. He wrote that song. So anyway, I'm going to share the song with you. I don't know if you like the theory or not. My evidence and reasoning, though, has to do with that location. And the fact that Bob Dylan spent a lot of time in New Mexico. He likes New Mexico because, sort of more multicultural than some of the other places of the South and the West. Last thing I'll say before I try my little rendition of the song is that Bob Dylan, there's a mention to a squire in the song, and a squire is a term for a Southern gentleman, a carryover term from England. So I think that he's making a reference to some white Southern gentleman sort of types. But all right, now if Dylan was here tooling around doing the tourist thing, writing songs and stuff, he'd have to do it incognito because he don't want a lot of people bugging him, right? So I'm going to get into character here. I'll proceed to tune for you. All right. Okay, let's see. Don't try to sing along. Remember most of the filming that way now. There's an arrow on the doorpost saying this land is condemned. All the way from New Orleans to Jerusalem, I traveled through East Texas, where many a martyr fell. And I know no one can sing the blues like blind Willie Mctell. I heard that gal singing as they were taking down the tent. The stars above the bearing trees were his only audience. Those charcoal gypsy ladies can strut their feathers well, but I know no one can sing the blues like blind Willie Mctell. See those old plantations burning, heard the cracking of the whip, smell that sweet magnolia blooming, see the ghost of slavery ships. I heard those tribes a-moaning, heard the undertaker's bell, and I know no one can sing the blues like blind Willie Mctell. There's a woman by the river with some fine young handsome man who's dressed up like a squire, bootleg whiskey in his hand. There's a chain gang on the highway, I can hear them rebels yell. I know no one can sing the blues like blind Willie Mctell. Now God is in his heaven, we all want what's his. Power and greed and corruptible seed seem to be all that there is. I'm staring out the window of the St. James Hotel in Mexico, and I know no one can sing the blues like blind Willie Mctell. Conversation, comments, nothing, man? Anybody want to comment? You just stunned, right? Woo! Yeah, how you Bob doing?